All right, so I'm going to take you through getting a picture off the internet to trace in CorelDRAW, and then we'll put it into Fusion and do a cam strategy with it so we can trace it onto those little metal dog tags that we have. So first thing you got to do is find a picture. Outline is best, so I typed in dog outline. Engraving works best with silhouette type pictures here for what we're doing. You could do something like this with a furry dog. It might be a little tough, but you could do it. Um, Less detail is better. Like for example, this husky dog with this solid color in here. If you try to make a engraving machine go and fill in all of that black area on this dog's head, it's not going to look good. So we're thinking, simple outlines like the one I've got here that I've already selected. Download it, right click, save image as, save it on your desktop, and then we'll hop over to CorelDRAW. So I've got CorelDRAW here, and this is what you get when you open it up, make a new file, I think it's called a new document. And to get that picture in here, you can't just open a picture. You have to import the picture. So I'm going to right click, choose import, and I'm going to go get that picture. And I believe it was this one here with the beagle. Yep, beagle rubber stamp. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got the picture right off the internet. It's got this black and white background on it, and if I zoom in really close, it's all grainy and pixely. We don't want that. We don't want that for the laser. We don't want that for the milling machine. We want a nice, clean picture. So what we're going to do is trace it. Trace bitmap. Make sure you've got the picture selected. Outline trace. Clip art. Okay, what Corel is doing is it's tracing over this with what they call a vector line. So you can play with these settings here, the smoothing and the detail and that kind of stuff. I'm going to just zoom in and take a look. Looks okay from here to me. So I'm going to pick OK. And there's my dog. You see how the background's gone? There's no here's a before dog. Oops. So there's a before on the right and there's an after on the left. So the after picture here, um, I want to the after picture over here on the left, I want to right click on the black box over here in the corner. Maybe I'll do this too. There you go. And you'll see that it's actually two lines. That's fine. We can pick and choose which line we want when we get to Fusion 360. I will do that with you as we go through. If this is still here, you can go ahead and delete it. The only thing we want in here is just that dog picture. So there's a whole document, just a dog. Doesn't really matter how big it is. You can play in CorelDRAW with settings. You can, make it go up and down, that kind of stuff. Um, you could stretch the dog out if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it, but okay. If you wanted to add a name, for example, like your dog's name or something, on this side of the window, there's a text box tool. It looks like a letter A. And I'm just going to add dog name. Actually, I'm going to change it to Cedar. That's my dog's name. You can play with different fonts and that kind of whatnot too. If you're interested in that, put the Terminator font for Cedar. And we're not going to put the Terminator font for Cedar because it doesn't show up good. How about Transformers? There you go. Transformers font for Cedar's name right underneath the dog. There we go. Okay, so we're ready to go. To get this into this information right here into Fusion 360, we need to save it as a DXF file. So to do that, right up here, there's a little arrow called export, or you can hit Control and E, or you can do file export. There's many different ways to do the same thing in most of these computer programs we're working with here. So I'm going to call it, let's see, I already got one called Cedar. Dog demo, save it on my desktop. And from there, you'll go to Google Classroom and you'll upload that DXF file for me because here's what I'm going to do with it. So I've gone into Fusion, and what I did is I put that dog DXF and a bunch of other things onto this model. So I made sketches on these surfaces here, and I put the DXF files on there. I've scaled them down. I've moved them around a little bit, and what you're going to see here is I'm going to use this sketch geometry from CorelDRAW, the DXF, and I'm going to have Fusion trace it, and then we'll make a toolpath from that using the trace toolpath. So I'll show you real quick what that looks like. Before I go to the manufacturer area, if you zoom in on this one that we just did, you can see that there's nice crisp lines here and nice crisp lines here. If I go over to this dog, there's a whole bunch of like extraneous junk in here that we don't really need. And there's lines that cross, there's intersections. This is messy. It's not going to trace well. So try to avoid doing this. I manufacturer, look at my browser. I've already got a setup. I've changed the location of my triad here for my part reference 0. That's okay. Got a tracing operation, tracing cam strategy. Then I'll just take a quick look at the geometry that I've selected here has been this geometry. Anything that I've selected as blue. So I've got the Spartan logo. I've got one dog that was my practice before I made the video, and then I've got the one that you just watched me do. So if I simulate this, you can't really see much because the tool that we've used is really ghosty and faint like. And as you can see, it's going around. Now it goes to the next one. So if you had to handwrite the GNM code for this, it would be very, very difficult for you to do that. But with Fusion 360, I can simulate it, make sure everything works well. And then I can do this right here called post-process. Save it as a, what are we doing? Fusion 360 library. Southwest Industries is the name of the machine. The machine is manufactured by Southwest Industries, and it's ProtoTrack GCD for G code. And I'm just going to call this demo dog tag. And once it pops up, the G code for that entire dog program, engraving all of those dog tags rather, is where are we at? Is here. Okay, so very, very similar to what we've been working with. G00s, G01s, G02s, and so on and so forth. So this is what we'll plug into the machine, and we'll have it run. Hopefully this helps you, and we'll see you. If you have questions, ask. Take care.